Well, I'm happy with the result. I'm not like entirely convinced by the performance, frankly, because I think, we should have killed the game because, you know, the 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 period of the match where we scored is always really dangerous because you have another
15
um,
minutes or so, or 20.
more than 15 minutes, so
FTV,
20 minutes.
welcome to Reggie Football Show. My man Ubum, we're here to look at the game. Arsenal just beat Everton in the Goodison Park 1-0. This one, obviously, we knew it was going to be a tricky one for Arsenal, having not won there in the last 5 visits. Many thought that the course was going to continue for Arsenal, but today it seemed that like the team handled the situation very well and came away with the 3 points. We're going to look at the game. There were some changes that Mikel Arteta did to the lineup today, and the performance of the team was different, and they didn't give Everton the chance to do what they normally do to Arsenal at the Goodison Park. Here with my man Ubum to look at the game and bring you some talking points in the game. Chioma will join us later. Richard will be here as well. But for the start, Ubum is here with me. And my brother, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Reggie. It's good to be able to speak after a win for the Arsenal. It was a good game. It was a great game. I thought what was a thoroughly professional performance. And so it's a pleasure to be on transit today. Please, like we usually say, go ahead and subscribe, share this page with your friends, and let's keep talking the Arsenal up. Let's keep enjoying the ride through the season.
Yeah. I hear you on that one. And to follow up on that, I was out there today in the Heights, a place called the Public House, the Heights, an Arsenal viewing center to watch the game. There was a lot of good people out there, good Arsenal fans, nice people. I had a lot of fun watching the game with them there. I had some interviews that I'll be dropping in the channel as well. Look out for those interviews and get some good stuff from that. We're also going to insert some scenes from the location. So if you're in the Houston area, reach out to us. I will let you know where the location is. That's where we're going to be watching all Arsenal games and getting interviews from fans. So if you are in the Houston area anytime, stop by Public House in the Heights, Houston, Texas, to watch any Arsenal game and give us your thoughts on the games as they go. We also want to give a shout out to our viewers, especially in Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, the UK, Nigeria. We can see our subscriptions are going up, the views are going up in these areas. We also see movements in Norway, France, a lot of countries. Our channel is present in over 20 countries right now, and we can't be any more excited than that. We thank you for supporting the cause and continue to beg those who probably get carried away with the fun on the channel and forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the subscription button, like, and share, and as well get busy in the comment section. Let us know what you think about these games, about conversations, about our views, about talking points. We want to get and we will take some of your comments as the show progresses in future. So get busy and let us know what you think about our views and the games that we'll be talking about. Viewers, you are welcome to the show. Ubum, let me start off with asking you, obviously, with the lineups. When the lineup came out today, and Ramsdale was on the bench, Fabio Vieira came up for kaihavertz, and Nketiah kept his place as a striker for this game, keeping Gabriel Jesus on the bench. What was your initial thoughts about this situation?
I was quite surprised to see Raya, but I thought, okay, the manager is shaking things up. Another one that I wanted to see what he was going to do. Two other places, actually, in the goalkeeping area, I didn't expect any change. I wanted to see how the manager would do in central defense with Gabriel, whether he was going to play Gabriel, number one. Number two, I wanted to see if he would play Havertz as opposed to Vieira after Vieira's amazing performance last week. Then lastly, I wanted to see whether he will keep Gabriel Jesus in and drop Nketiah to the bench. And so he decided to stick with Nketiah, decided to stick with Vieira, which I thought were really good decisions. The one that surprised me was bringing in Raya ahead of Ramsdale. And yeah, so that was my initial reaction.
Yeah, before I give my thoughts on that, do you think this is Ramsdale losing his place or just having a breather?
I think he's having a breather. And I don't think Arsenal has an out-and-out number one, right? That's the way I choose to see it. And I've always said in our earlier shows that the manager wants options. I think that we are blessed. Though everybody's saying, oh, we've never seen this happen before. It never works. Yes. We haven't seen it happen before. We haven't seen it work before. Doesn't mean that it can never work, right? Yeah. So let's see whether this man who has shown me so far to actually be a trailblazer, whether heralded or not, whether accepted or not, the man seems to be able to think outside the box. Let's see whether you can make it happen where two equally matched goalkeepers can play for a club in a season and both come out with their heads held high.
Yeah, and having said that, what did you make of Raya's
Oh my goodness.
today?
Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Oh man, Ray left me speechless. I'm trying to find the words to use. There are things that can be bought with money. There are intangibles that you cannot buy with money, right? For a goalkeeper, this dude has those intangibles you cannot buy with money.
You can't even speak about, but you just see them, you just feel them.
You just feel them. You can't speak about them much. The thing I love the most about him is the assurance. I use the word assurance, right? I am not going to denigrate or bring down Ramsdale by any means. I'm not going to say a single bad word about Ramsdale, but my goodness, Raya gives me assurance. Ramsdale doesn't give me this level of assurance. Yeah, Raya gave me assurance, and okay, yeah, he's solid. He's solid.
Yeah. For me, when the lineup came out, I saw Raya. Honestly, I don't feel Arteta in any way prefers Raya over Ramsdale. That's what I feel. I might be wrong. I just felt probably he wants to give Raya a run out before the Champions League. That obviously Ramsdale is going to be in goal, because Arteta also, if you have watched him closely, is a man that pays loyalty. I know in his head he's thinking, these guys worked hard to get us into Champions League. It will be unfair to put Ramsdale on the bench in our first Champions League after 6 years absence from that competition. So to be fair enough, he decided to give Raya a run out today so that Ramsdale will get a breather to be available for the Wednesday's game. That was my thought. I don't feel in any way that Ramsdale is losing his position. But again, this is how it started for Leno. Leno was outstanding for Arsenal a season before, and he went and got Ramsdale. We thought, okay, how is he going to be? By the end of that season, Leno was gone. So, but for now, I believe Ramsdale is the number one for Arsenal, and Arteta likes him. Arteta believes in him. But like last season, one of the reasons why Arsenal is still not to have won the league was because of we didn't have equal strength in depth when we needed to use our options. So having said that, Vieira didn't surprise me as well. I just felt like you rightly said, based on his performance against United, I wasn't surprised to see him. The one that surprised me a little bit was Nketiah, though I also, knowing Arteta, I believe that he was going to always stick with Nketiah for a minute. Maybe from the game on Wednesday, we might see Gabriel Jesus taking up his place. So that's my take from the lineups as they came out. So let me ask you on the one of the talking points before this game was the physicality that Arsenal always faces when they go to the Goodison Park. Last season, we saw that play out, and Arsenal lost that game 1-0.
Yes.
Everton was thought to have bullied Arsenal, throughout the pitch and got those 3 points last season. Did you see, or what do you think about how Arsenal handled this aspect of the game at the Goodison Park, considering the history that Arsenal has in that stadium?
Granted, I think I've called it a myth. Up until last season, it was a myth that Arsenal couldn't withstand physical pressure, especially from the likes of Everton. I saw the game at Goodison Park last season. I thought Arsenal were brilliant. Arsenal dominated Everton, matched up with them physically, did everything. They just didn't have the cutting edge on that day. They were very unlucky with creating chances. And then they also conceded chances. And Everton scored off a set piece. So when this happens to Arsenal, the narrative, of course, ties into the usual narrative. You were physically dominated and bullied, and you lost, right? Even when you've dominated a game and everybody saw it, once you lose it means you've been bullied, right? I never bought into that narrative because I saw the game myself. And this time, I thought our team came to make sure that they made their dominance count. I saw that from the first half. They dominated the ball, but also dominated in the physicality and tried to create chances and tried to score those chances. They were able to score in the first half, ruled out, but then they continued in the second half with the same. So if they had drawn today's game after 80% possession and all that, the narrative in the press would have been, the press and online would have been they were physically, dominated, but they were not by any chance. If Everton had gotten a chance and scored today, narrative would be completely different. But fortunately, we made our dominance count.
I also thought that Arsenal, though dominated possession, like you said, especially in the first half, were not able to manage to create clear-cut chances. Yeah, one or two times they opened Everton, or one of them was the goal that Martinelli scored, which was correctly ruled out for offside because of the laziness of Nketiah coming, getting himself back into online position. What do you think was the reason, or what should Arsenal have done better in the first half to create more meaningful chances, as to harmonize with the dominance that they had throughout the first half?
It would have been, what would have been the difference would have been a quicker passing that I think that maybe somebody that's as fluent as Thomas Partey would have helped us with that. Because Thomas Partey would tend to he appears slow in the way he plays, but he's not slow at all. He's somebody that can make the quick passes, move the ball, and then use the channels. So Rice played his part excellently, but still has some ways to go in moving the ball faster, in dictating play faster, and moving the ball through the channels faster. Right? Right now, he's not up there with Partey in terms of incisive passing. Well, of course, he offers a lot more than Partey in different areas. But everybody has their strengths, and people can always improve on their strengths. So I think that was the problem in the first half, moving the ball quicker, and of course losing out on Martinelli, who is an incisive runner and a relentless runner, also affected us. The initial shock of him going off injured and all that affected our play, but then we picked it up in the second half.
Yeah, and something else I've noticed in Arsenal's game, I know we talked about this in our previous episode. Yeah, Arsenal is controlling games better, but it seems the way that has come with a cost, which is not being able to score many goals in a game. So far this season, that reading might come, but for now, it looks like Arsenal is struggling to to score goals. What do you equate this to?
I equate it to Odegaard and our wingers working a lot more in terms of the build-up play and not quite getting into the scoring positions. Another thing is that the opponents are planning double teaming our two wingers, our two most dangerous players, in Saka and Martinelli. You can see the punishment they gave Saka today, right? They are double teaming our guys, and with them doing that and keeping them right there on the flanks, they're not even letting them advance into scoring positions where we can create and score more. And so that leaves pretty much the only outlet as Martin Odegaard. Odegaard is doing his best to, get into those scoring positions, but you see that most times he doesn't get anywhere close to the 18-yard box. They are blocking him off. Like Everton completely packed, Emolue today. Packed the ball so badly that they blocked off all the channels, and we couldn't do our incisive passing, which was even what led to our goal eventually in the second half when we were able to break through with some short interchange of passes. So I think that what will always help us in these situations, apart from our wingers keeping the field as big as possible, sometimes the short interchange, triangular, and that's what Brighton uses. Sometimes you just vary your play, have the wingers come in and short exchange of passes. Our guys can pass the ball well, and we can open up a defense. So that's probably what we need to do more in the future.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. What you said earlier on about, probably moving the ball a lot quicker than we do, because these teams, they're not going to move nowhere. They're sitting down there waiting on you to try to hit you on the counter. Another thing I'm thinking about it too is Nketiah has done brilliantly well, but I think he's not very suited for teams that play this way. Jesus will help us a lot more to open, move the defenders around and create spaces for people like Odegaard and Saka to run into. So I hope that he gets his fitness 100% and begin to start games for Arsenal. I think if Jesus starts to play, Arsenal is going to have more opponents as against when you have Nketiah. Nketiah has done well. I have nothing against him. I believe he's done very well, for the times he has been called upon. But going forward, when we play against teams that have low block like this, I would prefer Gabriel Jesus to start, because his movement, his trickery, and he also has a different way of battling with defenders. Nketiah has shown that he can stand his own coming across strong defenders, but Gabriel Jesus has a different way that he fights this kind of low blocks and defensive arrangements. So I think these two things, if they can be implemented, and let's not forget that Zinchenko wasn't part of the team the first 3 games of the season. That guy, for me, is very, very key in what Arteta is trying to do with Arsenal. Now, I think I understand why he was trying to invert Partey from the right, because he needs to create options. And even Zinchenko is not there, Arsenal needs to find a way to play the same way. That guy, I don't know, man. He's a solid technician, and the only disappointment I had today, I was hoping that by any means, I would have gotten some minutes in this game. But I hope that by Wednesday, he will be one of the subs into the game, because we need to begin to get him match fit and ready for the season, because eventually these players are going to be needed going into the season. So how do you rate? I know you spoke a little bit about Raya. How do you rate the Raya and Vieira's performance today? Do you think they did enough if we were to be thrown open, to keep their places in the next game for the team?
100%. I think they did enough. Fabio Vieira is a good player. Good player. I commend Arsenal scouting. He's a player that I really like, has certain qualities that make him stand out, and he's consistent in making those things work. He can be very incisive passing. He makes himself available for passes. He uses the channels pretty well. The understanding is developing, and as frail as he looks, he's not quite he's quite strong, and I'm sure his strength will continue improving. For your points regarding ESR, I think that again, you're as guilty as most of us as now fans. We cannot play a quality 16 players within 5 games or 3, 4, 5 games, right? Okay, look at Martinelli today. Trossard had his chance because Martinelli got injured. Somebody could get injured tomorrow. ESR gets into the team, it will be hard to shake him off. So let's just take our time.
Enjoy the
just play
ride.
5 games. Yeah, he will, and there's no doubt that ESR will get his chance. He's the only person now in that squad that hasn't played at all, right? Every other person has played. So I'm sure, absolutely, that he will get his chance to play. And being the kind of man that he is, he's going to respond. He's going to step up, when
Yeah,
called
I
upon.
haven't watched Arsenal play against United, and today Everton. Have you noticed anything different from the way Arteta is managing this, Arsenal this season, and the way we play? And what, if you any, what have you noticed that he's doing
Oh,
differently?
I'm delighted. There's a quiet strength about Arsenal that I love. That's the way I would describe it. Quiet strength. This wasn't there last season. Last season we started like a house on fire, but losing, buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. This season we are taking it easy. We are pacing ourselves. We're playing a lot more maturely. Um, you know, Opponents are trying to figure out what's going on. We've sacrificed a lot of the flair for
Pragmatism.
solidity, pragmatism, tactical awareness, discipline, patience, right? Even when there's a low block, there's all that, the ball packing and all that, you see our players, they stick to our principles. Our passing is so good, and our how would I our assurance on the ball, protecting the ball, especially man. The last 10 minutes, I was like, my goodness, what am I seeing? You know, People will control the ball. Our players had that confidence to control the ball, pass it. You know, manage the game with all the chances that Everton tried to create. Saliba was an embodiment of this thing I'm talking about. A player that has confidence to play the game the way it's supposed to be played, right? And the combo of him and Gabriel with the assurance of Raya, I was like, man, this is how football is supposed to be played. And so they have that quiet strength that we need. And that's the difference for me. Again, I am a flair person. I love flair in football, but my goodness, I'm ready to sacrifice it for what I'm seeing, right? Just take your time. 1-0 is fine. 1-0 is fine for me, better than 2-1, better than 3-1. Give me that 1-0, dominate the game, play the game. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think I've been asked you that question. If you didn't mention it, that's what I have seen this season, that Arsenal is a lot more mature, and they're no longer, in a haste to get goals. They are patient, they believe, and there's this safetiness about the way Arsenal is playing. I remember last season, even when we're leading a team 2-0, 3-0, you have a feeling that the team is going to score against Arsenal. But this season, I couldn't believe that I was watching a 1-0 lead, like you said, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to go, and my heartbeat is regular. I'm relaxed watching the game. In fact, because of the way I watched the game and we had to do some interviews, I was thinking of even leaving the game 5 minutes to the end, because I didn't feel there was not going to be any threat by Everton by any means. Not because of the way they are playing, but because of the way Arsenal was handling the situation. You saw the changes that Arteta made, bringing in Tomiyasu for Zinchenko. I know his fitness is not completely, but to bring that guy, that means he's trying to lock off Everton, and that they did comprehensively very well in a very last manner, like you rightly said. So that's one thing I know Arteta has instilled in this team this season, and one of the reasons that is very possible is declanrice, because that I know how many times he nicked off possession from opponent today from nowhere. That doesn't, I mean, like a play that you didn't give him a chance to get to. He is so mobile and quick, and that takes me to the next question. I was going to ask you to talk to me about declanrice. What did you see about this young man today? Somebody was saying that the reason for the fact that much is not being said about him shows that he's going about his business the way he's supposed to do. What did you make about his performance today?
Wakanda forever, man. He reminds me of what was the Wakanda actor again? What's
Okay,
his
that guy.
name?
Okay, I forgot the guy's
Oh
name.
my god, he reminds me of the guy. I mean, this guy is he's the Don and he knows it. He plays like the Don. He's like a Hoovercraft. He just hoovers around, cleans up the whole place, cleans up this
And
area,
cleans,
moves on,
mops up.
cleans up the
Telling
yeah,
you.
keeps the ball taking, and you're like, oh my god, this guy, as he's doing this stuff, he's covering distance, right? But you don't see any signs of wear and tear. You don't see any signs of rustiness. You see a player that is assured, a leader in the way he plays.
Yeah,
Just
and
like,
not to cut you short, you continue. It reminds me of what Dr. saying about Casemiro, that he's left by himself in the wilderness to, to hang and dry. Declan Rice is parading all that defensive midfield position by himself, cleaning up things like you said, and many times also join attack, and he seems never to be out of position. He's always available. If there's any danger, he sniffs it out and moves on. Like you say, keep it simple, and until it's kept going. Sorry to cut you short. I had to just
you're
in
on
there.
point. You're on point, and you use the right word there. Keep it simple. He keeps it really simple. I think that's what football is all about: keeping it simple, moving on the ball, and you see that's what was sorry to refer to Marcus Rashford, for example, with all the stuff that he did yesterday that cost for me was part of the reasons that cost United that terrible loss against Brighton, because he wouldn't keep things simple, because he made bad decisions all the time. So Declan Rice always makes good decisions, keeps it simple, moves the game. Man, that guy. I was listening to one of the interviews, one of the bloggers on YouTube. One of the people that said that he wanted Caicedo by all means. He was like, nope, 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 no Caicedo. No, he would never choose Rice ahead of Caicedo. But now, after seeing Rice for a few games for Arsenal, he's like, oh my God, was I wrong? He was terribly wrong. Fortunately, Transit is a place that we analyze this game really well. Anybody that can refer to our videos before those two were bought would see what we discussed about Rice
And
as opposed to Caicedo.
I
Credit to Caicedo. Caicedo, no problems with Caicedo whatsoever. But till tomorrow, Rice remains Rice, and there's a reason.
Yeah, if you are asked to choose your man of the match, who will it be in this game?
Oh gosh, for this game, I would choose. It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up for me, between three people. David Raya, because of the circumstances surrounding him playing for the Arsenal for the first time. William Saliba and Leandro Trossard. And I would choose Leandro Trossard because, this is a real soldier. A soldier means next man up. We lost someone that just scored a goal. Remember, Martinelli just scored a goal that got disallowed before, he got injured and had to go off. And his direct replacement, you could imagine the pressure that he came in under. You just replaced the goal scorer. We needed him to do the same thing that Martinelli did. He's not as fast as Martinelli, but he did his job. And the technique that he used to score that goal, please bring any other forward and try it. Let's see, right? The way he carries that ball right into the crossbar, into the net, it showed you that we have the highest quality forwards in the Arsenal. So I would choose Leandro Trossard.
Well, I don't agree with you on this one. For me, my man of the match will be Odegaard. The way this young man is orchestrating this Arsenal team, leading by example, pressing forward, marking in the midfield, making it tick together. Because he has been consistent in this performance, most of the time we are guilty of overlooking it because we expect that for him now, week in, week out. But when you sit down and analyze what the influence and the impact he has in the way Arsenal plays on what we produce consistently, you will marvel at what the numbers will be. For me, I'll give Odegaard the MOTM for this game because of the way how hard he worked and helped the team to take together and move the things around. Richard, welcome to the show. We are about rounding up. We've talked about the surprise lineup today, Raya coming in goal for Rambo, the physicality we were expecting for Everton to approach the game with, and how Arsenal handled it, performance of Vieira and Raya, of course, and the new approach by Arteta of for the team being a little bit more assured in the way they approach games, declanrice as well his performance. So I don't know if you can round up your thoughts for us in a general overview about how this game went. And I know I can see you beaming with smiles. I know you very well. I know how happy you always are when Arsenal picks the 3 points. Welcome to the show, and let's have your thoughts. You're on mute.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Reggie. How's everything?
It's good to see you, brother.
Likewise. So, well, I'm happy with the result. I'm not like entirely convinced by the performance, frankly, because I think, we should have killed the game because, the period of the match where we scored is always really dangerous because you have another
15 minutes or so, or 20.
More than 15 minutes or 20 minutes to to manage the match, and you're away from home. So I was, in fact, you know how I behave now. I didn't even watch the last 10 minutes. I was just pacing around. Because I was just so afraid we would concede. I was very impressed with Raya, though, because the ball at his feet, he was more assured than Ramsdale has been, and there were no alarms, which was impressive. I don't think Odegaard was man of the match. For me, I think Declan Rice was our man of the match because he kept.
Declan Zinchenko?
No, not
Zinchenko, please.
Well, why I don't think Odegaard was man of the match? He missed a chance that would have put that. That's for me. We would have been 2-0 and we would have been home and hosed.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, he put out a lot of fires. If you watch the match,
I agree with you on that one.
Put out a lot of fires. Zinchenko, he played well, but he has this habit of losing the ball in very, very. Because
it was only once he almost. I don't think
it's one, but it's one too many times now.
But he's not. But because of the role that he plays for the team, he's given license to take risk. And when you take risk in games, if everybody keeps playing safe, I don't think we'll open up any defense. So he has the license to try to take risk, and it's only when you take those kind of risks that you can create chances. So sometimes we should forgive him for that, because if everybody plays like Gabriel Magalhaes, keeping it safe, I don't think we will be able to score a goal.
Okay, although I don't agree that Gabriel plays it safe, because he's an even bigger risk taker than anybody in that team, and it takes far too many risks for a central defender. But anyway, that's I'm happy that.
We won.
They were able to win, but I'm not convinced. And you see, they're going to have to progress 2 or 3 levels to actually compete against City in this league, because really, and Reggie, now.
Yeah. But the thing is, Richard, let's I always say, we don't have to win City to win the league. All we need to do is to round up these teams like this, because I hope that eventually somebody somewhere does the trick for us, which can happen. West Ham almost did it yesterday. So for me, for now, the first 10 games, I always tell you in the EPL, from what I have seen about EPL, every 10 games, make sure you win at least 7 or 8. It keeps you in the mix. Once you can win 7 or 8 out of your 10 games, maybe draw 2, you are right there, because every other team somehow is not going to have a perfect result as well. So if we can keep it like this, every 10 games, we win 8, maybe draw 2 or something, we just keep it going. Because City, as good as they have been in the league, they have never gone unbeaten. They have always dropped not 1 in 11 or 10 games or 9 games, all to put together in a season. So having said that, if we keep picking our 3 points, like Ugum said earlier on, 1 goal to the Arsenal, get your 3 points, and eventually, and I also feel that one of the reasons why we've not been scoring a lot of goals is because Jesus has not been starting, because he has a different way of playing as a striker. We provide openings for our wide players and the Odegaard. So I think by the time he's fully fit and because starts game for us now, we'll probably will have more openings and score more goals. That's my own
Yeah,
take.
We need a
again,
goal
my take,
scorer.
my
Is it
take
my
on that.
turn
You
now?
see,
Is it
Right.
my
Okay, Chama,
turn?
Chama
here's
is
my
your
take.
turn. Chama is
Okay,
your
Chava,
turn.
go
Yeah,
on.
go ahead, because we have
Is it my
like
turn?
7 minutes to end the show. Yeah, Chama, so give us your overall thought in the lineup. When the lineup came up, you saw it in place of Ramsdale, the physicality we were expecting everything to deploy in this game, Fabio Vieira performance, and is there anything new you see about the way Arsenal is approaching the games, this time?
Okay, the new thing is the Zinchenko effect, actually. I think I'm going to really study this. Is a thing for me now. And when Richard was saying no Zinchenko, he lost the ball. And I was like, no, we should forget, like we should forgive him and forget. It was just once. Okay, I mean, we're forgiving and forgetting Kai, my darling, when he loses the ball all the time. Do you understand? We understand. So if Zini does that, I think we should forgive him. And then talking about Fabio, I remember what some guys were saying. Some Arsenal fans, they were like, oh, he needs to go to the gym. He needs to, have some stamina. He needs to, he's pacing and he's breathing too much and all of that. And I was like, this guy is such a player. He's going to be such a tiny player. Lamptey, that player Lamptey, yesterday I watched him. Tiny, cute player, but very effective. That's Fabio for me.
Like
And let's
Cazola
talk
as
about
well.
exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Do you understand?
Mhm.
And then let's talk about Rice. I mean, everybody's going to be like, oh, Arsenal fans, we're not going to keep quiet about Declan Rice and all of that. But this is what it is. This is like the best deal ever, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what others got, but we are getting a run for our money and it feels good. And I overheard Ugum talking about him being in the midst of chaos and him being all right in the midst of that chaos. I think chaos is where he blooms. Declan Rice likes the chaos. He likes the drama. You see him running around and saving those balls in very impossible angle. And he's looking at the defenders. Okay, if you lose this ball, don't worry, I got you. And if Declan Rice keeps being that I got you player, I think that's what we need this season.
Mhm.
And looking at Arteta is doing beautifully well. Okay, he's breaking systems. Like kudos to him. He has done it because he's Mikel. He understands how the system is supposed to work. And just like Ugum said, we like the 1-0. Leave our 1-0 for us. We like it like that. If others have been getting this 1-1-0, 1-1-0, they would have been fine and not been in the position they are. But who am I to judge? So I think for me, yeah, for me, I think I like what I'm seeing. I like what I see, and I want more of it. That's
Okay,
all I
yeah,
have.
yeah, good to see you. We have just barely 2 minutes. Does anybody have any hope for Everton this season?
Please, before we go to Everton, I want to say something to Richard. Richard, I think you should, just like many other Arsenal fans, let's prepare our minds for a different kind of season, right? I think it's already started differently. I think that I will take a bit more of the boring stuff. I'll take a bit more of the close margin games, um, unlike what we've had with Arsenal over the last 3, 4 years or so. Last season, for example, we had a lot of goals and we scored goals and won games and bamboozled opponents and did all that. There's something about the way that we approach games this season that's a lot, we were saying it before you joined, that's a lot more pragmatic. It
Let's
tends
see.
to be a bit slower. We may not score as many goals, which is the fact that I'm speaking to, talking about goals again, talking about Jesus. Most of that frantic stuff also comes with Jesus because he's a frantic player, right? So if it means Jesus taking a back seat and not doing all the frantic stuff, or we don't score many goals, but we win games 1-0. With the way that we played today, it may not be convincing, right? But Everton, we were not in danger at all against Everton.
Yeah.
Because we controlled that game, we played with assurance. I would take that any day. I would take a 1-0 like that. I even take a 2-1. right? But all that, expecting all the goals, we don't have again, and we're not going to buy that goal scorer between now and January.
And
I'm not even
it
sure.
helps you to conserve energy too, because like you said, the franticness we played last season was one of the reasons why we burned out at the, towards the end. So I think going this way, everybody comes out of the game fresh. Now we're going to be playing Champions League Wednesday. That's another tough game to be played. So if you use exact all that energy and come out finished, by the time you come on Wednesday, you're not fully recovered to go into the game.
And I think that more to come also from Vieira and Havertz. More to come from those two players in terms of goal scoring. Those guys haven't even scratched the surface at all. They haven't gotten near the 18-yard box yet, where they can actually be dangerous. So from that left eight, we haven't gotten a single goal so far. Very soon, one of them will click and start scoring goals. That would also help.
Okay, guys. I have to jump on the other show now for United. Did you have anything to say before we round up?
I just want to say that, I've taken everything, Chioma and Uguma have said, you have said, but you see, the thing is, I don't have a problem with 1-0. Honestly, I don't have any problem with 1-0 wins, but this team is not capable of keeping clean sheets on a consistent basis. We've had 5 matches, 2 clean sheets away from home, 1-0 wins. We haven't kept 1 clean sheet at home. That will give you an idea that this team is not even built for clean sheets, which is one of the reasons why I think Raya started today. I think Arteta, there's something he has seen.
But Richard, last season,
on evidence, on the strength of the evidence, 2 out of 5.
No, the same clean sheet with I think Siri last season. Ramsdale was a joint Golden Glove winner, I think, last season. So which means or maybe second. I think it was.
He was second.
He was second. Okay, so by one game. By one
Yeah.
game. So if it was just by one game, and you say we are doing badly in conceding goals, then that means City also had the same problem. Like what we need is just the 3 points. And I think what we're saying is that this season we are a little bit better assured. At least I'm sure it's going to improve as the season goes by.
I hope so.
There are so many things to talk about. I think we'll have to end it here. It's so interesting. We'll come back tomorrow and review the Champions League game against PSV. I hope you guys will have time tomorrow to jump on the show. I will let you know the schedule.
Okay.
Thank you for coming for this one. It's all smiles. I'm going to jump on United now. We know it's fire going on at Old Trafford. The fans are already they are waiting on me, and let's jump onto that one. Thank you, and I appreciate you coming to the show. Our viewers, don't forget to hit the subscription button. We see it's a lot going on. Our viewers are subscribing to the channel. Get busy on the comment section, as we always ask you, and let us know what you think about our views in this game. And we'll see you in the next show. Thank you, and God bless.